Hello there and welcome back to Build with the Boys. We have got issue 1 of Hachette's Warhammer Stormbringer. Now, this is based on Age of Sigmar as opposed to 40k, which was the last one they did. This had 2 false starts. So this was one that went through 2 trials before they actually got a full release. But I am happy to say this is now a full release. So don't worry that this is going to disappear after 4 issues. It's not. This is now a full release. And it is running for, they're advertised 80 issues. It could extend, it could go longer. So what we're going to do is we're going to get it open, we're going to take a look at it, and we're going to have a chat about some of the bits and pieces that are in it. Okay, so let's take a look at what comes inside this pack. So this is essentially the sales pitch. It does say free poster, and it is a very nice poster, but this gives us all the information about what it is that we're getting. So you can see here at the top, they're showing the free gift if you subscribe to this. So you will get clippers, plastic glue, and a mold line remover. You'll get free brushes. You'll get a medium shade brush, a large base brush, and a large dry brush. You'll get binders and dividers to keep all of your magazines in. They've got an exclusive heat changing mug, so it's a black mug where the image will appear with heat. And you'll also get a free figure in Xandria Azure Vault. If you choose to go for the premium subscription, this is what you will get. So for an extra £2 per issue, you will get these very large miniatures. I appreciate that's an oxymoron. But you will get Krondis. You will also get Gordrak. You will also get a Grunstock gun hauler. And you also get Gloomspite, Glitstank Tragoth, and 3 Rockhold Tragoths as well. Believe it or not, if you are new to this, this is actually a bargain. But we'll go into the actual financials of this as well. You can see inside here. This is what we're getting. It's just all the sales blurb. They always do this. They tell us exactly what they get. We have in here, interestingly, so this is everything you will get. So you can see from this everything you'll get. So everything you see in this picture, you will get through the standard subscription. That's the very large ones over here. Now, that doesn't mean you'll get that in one issue. You might get half of it in one issue and half of it in another issue. You also get paints. You'll get all the paints you need to paint these. You get the dice, you also get terrain, everything you need to play, you will get. So you can build up 2 armies, so you can have a full tabletop game with these. It's actually a really nice set, it genuinely is. But again, we'll go into more details about the financials in a minute. Let's take a look at what we get inside. So you can see here, you've got your armies, forces of order, so you can tick these off as and when they come through. So you can make your notes, you can tick through what you've got, you can list everything that's going to be there. So you can keep track of your collection. This is hole punch that will go into your binder. We then have the magazine itself. So the magazine itself will split out. This is held with glue, so you can split this out so you can use different sections for your binders. So it will have everything you need to know about the Age of Sigmar. It will go into the story, the backstory, everything. It will go into who all these armies are, who all these characters are. The whole, everything you can need, you'll get. So all the different armies. It will also explain how to play, which is important. If you've never played this before, it'll teach you how to play the game. Teach what every character does, how to use them, how to utilize them. We go into this section. We have a how to build. This will say how to build these things, how to put them together. It will then give you paint schemes. So it'll give you how to paint. So it'll tell you how to paint your miniatures. Techniques and guides here, bit more sales blurb. Your first game, so you can play straight at the bat with the very few figures that you get in this one. You can play immediately. You don't need tons of these to play. You can play straight away. It shows you how to use your map. We'll show you the map in a minute. Where you place them, how to move, how it works, everything. How your attacks work. It's chapter and verse. It's chapter and verse, and that's important. We'll talk about that in a second as well. So then it'll tell you about the characters you've just got as well. So you've got a bit of backstory on them. It's a nice collection, it really is. And again, that's just showing you what you get. And then you can see what's coming in the next issue. So in the next issue, you get 10 figures in the next issue. So you get 10 Gut Rippers. You get all of these in the next issue, and that will cost $5.99. And then in issue 3, you get 5 figures. You get the 5 Vindicators in issue 3. Again, as I said, this is a really nice set. It's really nice. But this is when the price goes up to the normal price of $8.99, and that'll be $8.99 a week. So it'll be 2 weeks until this one comes out, and then it goes weekly from issue 3. It's really nice. This is the map. I'll show you on a different camera, that one, because it's so huge. I'll need to see on a different camera. But let's have a quick chat about kind of what this is and what it's about. So that's kind of the sales blurb on this one. Now, what I think is good about this is if you've never played Warhammer before, but it's been something you've seen and thought, you know, I'd like to give that a go. It's a minefield as to where to begin. It really is, because you're thinking, well, do I drop, you know, a couple of £100 on stuff here and then find out I don't like it? That could be what happens. However, if you do it this way, you can get a taste of it. So if Warhammer is something you've always thought about trying or like to get into, this is a great opportunity to do that. It really is. I compare it to, say, comic book collecting. If you've never collected comic books before, where'd you begin? It's a minefield. And Warhammer is kind of like that. Because it's a game that is so entrenched and rich in history, it can appear intimidating to somebody who's never played it before, but it really isn't. It really isn't. My son got into Warhammer last year, and I thought, not a clue. I don't know where to begin with this. I really don't. But I went to the store. I went to the Warhammer store, and the guys there couldn't have been more helpful, more friendly. You can paint your first miniature in there. You build and paint your first miniature in there for free. They do great things for the kids. They really do. And you can go in and you can game as well. So they have a lot of events on, and it's very welcoming. It's very welcoming. Now, I know full well, having been a comic collector for years, how intimidating some of these stores can be, but that was not my experience of Warhammer. It wasn't. I mean, I frequented comic book shops where they would just berate the guy that would come in that didn't know what he was looking for. It's one of the characters in The Simpsons comic book guys very well observed, no, you may not, because I've lived that, man. I've seen it, but that's not what Warhammer's like. So this is a great introduction to it. If you wanted to get into Warhammer, this is a fantastic introduction, because again, when it comes to the cost of this, genuinely, this is amazing value for money. Compared to what this would cost you to buy retail, it's incredible value for money, which is rare from a part work. Normally from part works, we're paying for the convenience of having a ready-made collection for us. So we overpay. That isn't the case with Warhammer. With this one, genuinely, you are making around about a 40% saving on what this would cost you retail. Also, you're getting additions to your collection every week for £9. There's very little you can buy at a Warhammer store for £9. So unless you're prepared to put some hefty outlay down, it can be an expensive hobby. So again, I mean, you look at this, that's 80 times £9, and it's like, yeah, I get that. But again, way cheaper doing it that way than it would be to just walk into the store with a credit card. This attracts both sets of Warhammer fans. So you're going to have, this is going to attract long-term Warhammer players because they're going to want to pick up specific issues. I doubt they're going to want to buy the whole thing from start to end, but there's going to be specific issues where they know these are value. They know full well that what they're paying £9 for would normally cost them a lot more in the stores. So those issues tend to get snapped up quickly. So be aware of that if you're not going to subscribe and have it delivered, that some of these issues suddenly, which you've always been able to get in a newsagents or a supermarket, are sold out everywhere. And there'll be a reason for that, because it will have the rarer figures in there that are worth a lot more money than the cover price. So that is one of the benefits of subscribing. Along with the gifts, you also guarantee you'll get in this. Not every single issue comes with miniatures to build. Some of them will come with paints, which again is not, I know that there are people be cursing the screen right now, but it's not, it's true. It's not necessary to paint the miniatures. I don't know why you wouldn't, because I want them painted, but you don't have to. So this is the thing. If the painting intimidates you, which I know it stops a lot of players coming to this, a couple of things. One, the painting is not that hard. I swear to you, it isn't. There's a difference between, I mean, I've seen some amazing paintwork done, but unless you try, you'll never know. And again, this is why I would encourage you to go to a Warhammer store if you have been intimidated by that, and they will show you firsthand how you can paint something that looks good with, you know, you don't need tons of skill to do it, but you've all got to start somewhere. And again, this is a great place to start. So this will build you up a nice collection of paints, a nice collection of paintbrushes, of dice, of terrain, of maps. You'll get into it. It's a slow introduction to it, so you'll build up to where you are. And it's a great way to start the hobby. It really is. It's a fantastic way to start. But yeah, give this a go. If you've always wanted, sort of been curious about it, it's a great place to start. And at $2.99 introductory price, I mean, come on, it's a nice one. So what we're going to do is we're going to put some of these figures together. We're not going to paint them because, again, this is the thing as well. You don't even have to play this game. If you just like the miniatures and you like painting miniatures, this is a great way to get some really good miniatures. So you might just be like, I'd like to collect those, but I don't really want to play. You can do that. And if you're thinking, I'd like to collect those and play, but I really don't want to paint them, you can do that as well. There's no rule that says these have to be painted. You can play with unpainted miniatures. And you can also paint miniatures you never play with. Or the ultimate, of course, is to paint and play and have your army exactly how you want it. And there's no rules. There's no, it has to be this colour. It's open to interpretation, man, so you can do what you want to do. And there's loads of opportunity for modifying, and you will be amazed how addictive this is. And it looks complicated to play. It is not complicated to play. It really isn't. It really isn't. Once you understand the gist of it, it's simple to play. It really is. It's your guys versus their guys. That is essentially what this boils down to, and it is a world of fun. So let's get some of these miniatures built, and we'll take a look. So this is how your miniatures will come. They come on a sprue, and you can remove these with a craft knife. Just be very careful how you do it, but sprue cutters are the best. You got sprue cutters that are designed for this job, with just a little pair of clippers, and you can clip them out. But they are very easy to assemble. You can ultimately glue them, but I mean, it's worth doing a dry run first and seeing if they fit how you want them to fit, so you don't have to do any trimming and whatnot. But let's get these put together. So here we have our first 3 miniatures built. And I mean, again, it took me 5 minutes, and I'm certainly no expert on this, but they look really nice. So this is our Knight Arcanum that we have here. Get close up to that if possible. You can see how detailed they are. This is completely unpainted, obviously. But how gorgeous is that? Just the detail in these is absolutely beautiful. It really is. They just look stunning. They look really nice. Even the bases are great. That's our Knight Arcanum. And then we have Killer Boss and Stabgrot. So this is Killer Boss here. Again, ridiculously detailed. So painted, you can see how much that shield's going to pop when this is painted. You can see the kind of corpse he standed on there. How nice is that? Gorgeous thing. And then we've got our little Stabgrot over here. Don't underestimate these. Trust me, I've played this game. And these can be a bloody nightmare. And that's just a little one. But yeah, so much fun. And I mean, again, you can paint these any way you want to paint them. So then naturally they've got tips on how to paint, what colour to paint, and they've got paint schemes. And you can kind of see, if I show you on the cover, you can kind of see what this one can look like and see how colourful you can make him. Same as Stabgrot there. And then this one, whoop. Again, now you will get the paints to do that. You don't have to worry about painting them at this stage. You will get the paints to do it. But aren't they lovely things? I mean, for $2.99, this introductory issue, we got these 3, and you're getting 10 in the next one for $5.99. Work out 59 pence a miniature. That's an absolute bargain. We also got our 6 dice. And we are good to go. Let's have a chat. So there we are, really nice. And again, I'm not the expert on this, but there are plenty of people on YouTube that are. So they can tell you everything you need to know about the more intricacies of this. This is me purely going into what you get with this issue. And how simple it can be. Because maybe it's nice to hear it from a novice rather than an expert. But this is an example. I mean, this is how big your terrain map is. So you get this fairly enormous map of terrain. You can use the other side. I mean, there's nothing on it, but you can use the other side. But you've got this. Inside the magazine, it tells you exactly how to lay your miniatures out in this, so you can have your game. I'll show you the poster as well. So inside the sales blurb, you do get a very nice poster. And this is it. So you get this poster as well. Gorgeous thing. Gorgeous thing. I think for $2.99 it's an absolute bargain. It's definitely worth getting and trying out for yourself and seeing if this is something you'd like to do. And you might build these and look at them, and once you took a closer look, think, man, I like this. Well, this is tip of the iceberg. These things are fantastic, they really are. And I've got friends that own stores, tabletop gaming stores, that man, some of the things they've shown me, they've put LEDs into these miniatures. They've made terrain that blows smoke and all kinds of things, and it looks amazing. It really does. And that's kind of the beauty part of it. This is a game that you can fully customize to how you choose. And again, to get into this can be expensive. To get a decent army is really expensive. So the fact that you can, for £9 a week, you can just keep building up that army without having to lay out like £100 for a decent set, or £120 for just £8.99, just, I know it's constant, but you're going to get very little for £8.99 otherwise. This is what, when it comes to Warhammer stuff, you can get very little for £9. Whereas this way, you're going to get, one week is going to be his 4 paints, another week is going to be his, 10 figures, it's very large. It's nice. It's a good way of doing it. So you will get everything you need. You get terrain. You'll get 2 different armies you can fight with. You'll get some of the larger ones. And if you want to go premium, you can go premium and get those nice big premium figures and the free gifts as well. I'll put a link in the description. Now, I'll level with you. I don't know if we are doing this one. I think we're certainly going to pick up some of them. We have not subbed to it yet, and the reason why is because my kid likes the 40k version of this. 40k is more Space Marine kind of based. That is the most vague dumbing down of it I could explain. There's a lot more to it than that, but if this is more your kind of magic and your kind of fantasy side of it, 40k is more sci-fi. This is more fantasy, if you will. So Age of Sigmar is the more fantasy side of it. I kind of wish they do a Blood Bowl. I'll be honest with you. I used to play a game when I was young called Blood Bowl, which is from the same company. And if they did a collection of Blood Bowl, you could get a bunch of teams. I'd be all over it. But I don't know. I don't know if we're going to do... I mean, we're definitely going to pick up the next one, and we're going to pick up a few more. And the kid might come round to Sigmar. I mean, as it is, he's like, I'm 40k or nothing. He might come around to Sigmar as he sees more and more of these miniatures. He might take them on board. You will need to... I mean, my advice would be as well, if you are looking into this, there are things you're not going to get. I mean, one of the things I can show you that you're not going to get is we use Citadel to... this isn't Craig Blue. This is typically what we use for our 40k. But we use these to prime these, basically, to give them a base coat. I certainly don't think they're going to give you rattle cans. But your local store will have rattle cans. You can get these online as well. So, I mean, be aware of that. That's something they're definitely not going to give you. They're not going to use spray cans. But everything else you need to learn about the game, learn about the backstory of it, tips on how to play, tips on how to paint is in this set. So if Warhammer is something you've kind of fancied a go at, this is a perfect jumping on point for you. It really is. And as I said, it is essentially a 40% saving, which is massive for a part work. Normally, we lose money on a part work, right? We've got to be realistic. The models that we build typically are not worth what we pay for them. We've just paid for the convenience of them and the fact that someone's up to license it and blah, 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 blah. Whereas this one, you can compare this to retail, and you can see that you are making a massive saving on buying them through the subscription. You really are. That's all for this one. A world where you can be anything at all, just be nice. If you have any questions, you're welcome to contact us on buildwiththeboys@outlook.com or pop it in the comments below and we will get back to you. Take care. Loads more coming up on the channel. So if this one doesn't float your boat, the next one might. We've got Disney Doll's House coming up. We have got more of the Dark Knight Tumbler. We will have more Titanic. We have got crochet coming up on the channel if you're into your handicrafts. We've got R2-D2 and a bunch of other stuff. And eventually we will have the Infinity Gauntlet. We will be finishing Ecto 1. As I said, in a world where you can be anything at all, just be nice. And we will catch you on the next one.